And Greg Heyer.
And we're here with Linking into Sales. I have a special thing on my head right now that says Google. It's my Ninja Google headband, because we're going to talk a little bit about using Google Plus today from a sales professional perspective. And then we want to throw in another thing today on answers on LinkedIn and some etiquette aspects. So, Greg, I want to start with you. You're the one who got me onto the gold of Google Plus, and we're using a product right now. So why don't we just explain what we're using on Google Plus that could help a sales professional?
All right. Yeah. No, we have Google Plus is just kind of like this new social layer that's been out for about a year now. Actually, I think we're approaching their first year anniversary on it, and we figured, for the new series of podcasts that we do for Linking into Sales, that we would actually start using Google Plus, because we can take and do video and provide that video content for folks that prefer to watch it on video, and then we could also take and cut out the audio track and put it into the podcast, and still be able to help those get the good information via iTunes and soon Stitcher, as well as subscribing directly from the blog at linkingintosales.com. But we've had a chance to sit down for the last year and kind of talk about the things that have been happening with Google Plus and some of the great changes that they've made, some of the great integrations that they've done. And I think that when for the sales professional, we've had a chance to kind of think about how we can use the social layer to better support a salesperson's sales cycle. And there are a number of different ways, but I think we need to start at the beginning. I think most of us are pretty familiar with using social networks in general. This Google Plus kind of operates in a very similar way, but where you get a very big advantage to using it is that you get to influence the search results of those who follow you and who've added you to their circles. Okay, so this is another reason why it's good to build out a network, follow and unfollow, or follow and be followed, on Google Plus. So we have a couple of things that we wanted to talk about today with how to get started with using Google Plus, just understanding the core fundamentals, and then moving into some of the more advanced features that Google Plus has to offer. But like I said, this is a great tool for influencing search results, because we know that 70% of the world uses Google to find things. So if they are searching for a product, if they have when they go to Google, everyone has a problem. So they're going to search Google to help them solve that problem. And if you could be there to answer their question and solve their problem, then you get the business.
So the piece we're starting with, first of all, we're assuming that you took our advice and at least got your Gmail account and signed up for Google Plus. So and then really the best browser to use with that is Chrome. And what we're talking about this kind of social validation on a search. And when you're searching signed into Google Plus, you have a chance to put a little +1 with something, and then other people can see it. So, Greg, but you can also do an organic search independent of the bias of your Google information. Is that right?
That's correct. You don't need to. You have two different options when you're searching with Google. Either you can include social search results or not. And that's a nice little setting. It's up over on the right-hand side of Google when you're doing your search results. I think that there's a general assumption that your friends are going to help you find stuff better than Google's algorithms will, or any other search engine for that matter. So if your friends who probably have similar interests to you, they may be able to assist with finding those things that you are most interested in. Another thing too is that when you do +1, whether it's an article on a website or it's +1ing something in your stream, it is kind of like the action is very similar to that of Twitter, where you're either tweeting or retweeting something. So, but what's nice about it is that you're giving credibility to the article or to what is being shared, which actually ends up building authority within Google. And the more +1s that an item gets online, then the more it will actually influence people's search results, because you'll see that if you have 50 people who have taken +1 your product, for example, a product page or something else, or your company page for that matter, it will appear in more search results for those people that are searching for something related to your business.
Greg, can you do a screen share and just show us the process of the Google search?
Sure. Let me see what I can do here. Let's see if we can load it up. Let's do this one.
So here you see you're in Google Plus right now. I'm seeing that with the Hangouts we're a part of, and we'll talk about Hangouts next.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the home page right now.
Okay.
Actually, I'm sorry, I'm already there. So we'll see that we have, here's Google's, or here's our linking to sales page on Google Plus.
This is our
business page.
Yep, excuse me.
This is our business page. Yep, and you'll see that we have some friends that have already followed us, added linking into sales to their circle, and you'll see that their information is actually appearing in our stream here. Okay, so if we like something, for example, David Vega here shared something yesterday at 12:33 p.m. We shared with a limited number of people, but what he ended up doing is he shared this article from Think with Google. And his article entitled "New Industry Metrics for Publishers." Now we can look at this, read through the article, open it up, and he's got some images here. And if we like this article, what we would do is come down underneath it. You'll see this button where it says +1 this post. So we can +1 the post, and you'll see that our icon or your avatar will actually show up here at the bottom of that share or that +1. In addition, we can also share this post. So if we wanted to, we could share it with other people, and it'll warn you if it's been shared with a limited number of people to just be cautious about who you're sharing with. Chances are he shared this. David has probably shared this with a specific circle, but if he included us, chances are we probably have a similar audience. We could share this too, and we'll share that article with our circles.
So I want to add something. What's happening is this is kind of like on Facebook, the news feed of our business. And these, David showed up because linking into Sales of Business is chosen to follow what he's doing. And now you're +1ing, putting a kind of a mild endorsement, but also a marker in there. You can go back and see your +1s. So it also adds as a little bookmark piece. And then you're also sharing it with the people who are following linking into sales, right?
Right. Yep, exactly. So I can go to view the linking into sales profile now, and in here we'll be able to see the articles that I have actually shared on my stream. Okay. And then we should be able to take and look at things that I've +1'd as well. But we'll have to find that link later. That may not be available on the business pages. It may be available. I know for a fact it is available on individuals' profiles.
Yeah, this is a dynamic work in progress. It's evolving daily. Well,
very much so.
That's excellent. Now, would you go over to just a simple organic search on Google, signed into Google Plus, and show the +1 there as well? Maybe like looking up linking into sales as an example. So now you're going to google.com, but we're signed into Google Plus. Do you notice Greg's, if you can see it, hopefully in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see his little face, his Gmail account, the +1, and then now look up linking into sales.
All right. So what you'll see in the search results, if you type in linking to sales, you'll see that we have 70 personal results. Came out of 1.5 billion results. But you're keep in mind too that the results are going to be catered to the individual Google user. So your results may not look exactly like this, but what you'll end up seeing is you have for me, this top search result is going to be linking into sales.com. Our Facebook result, our iTunes page, our group on LinkedIn, as well as the company, which we need to update that. Our Twitter feed, things are on some of the other events and some of the other things that have been going on around linking into sales. And also you'll see over here the linking into sales page. So you can add that to a group called, or to a circle that you prefer to take and add it to. However you feel it's important to organize. We'll explain circles here in a little bit. But in essence, I've added linking into sales into my pages circle, which includes all the pages that I follow. It's about 100 pages that I follow. But I know easily I can go to this particular circle and find the page that I'm looking for too, or I can just type it into the search results and I'll find it there too.
Now, what's interesting is it is not showing our that I have +1 the linking into sales at this moment under linking into sales. Usually I'll have my little face on it.
That is true.
And it might be because we're signed in as linking into sales on the on the show. But if you do a +1, go ahead, do a +1 publicly, and I'll go.
I did a
and I'll go over to my page and look at it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go in here and +1 some of these search results because they are relevant.
Right.
And see if that was, we'll drop that one. It's our Amazon book, which we're going to be
upgrading soon.
Which will be coming out with a second edition here this year. So we see now that you've +1 an item here. One other thing I do want to point out is that what I was mentioned before is that how you can take and add in search results or see social results or just plain regular hide the personal results is you can turn that off by hitting the globe button, and that'll shut down those personal results and just keep it as simple as possible.
Excellent. So really the first place to start here is sign up for Google+. Look up key things like your business and other. And there we are. That's it. The two faces there. Facebook.
There we go.
That's what I wanted to say. There's me and you right there.
Right.
And clearly, so that, what does that mean? The important piece here is if I was John Doe and I looked up linking into sales and then I saw, oh, Greg and Martin say this is worth going to, then I might want to go to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's this idea of social proof, and you've +1. I'm trying to see which other. I see some others there. There we go. +1. Blog Talk Radio. Great.
Yep. So let's take another search result. So let's say, for example, that we're looking for let's say we're looking for maybe a new social media tool. So let's say if we're looking for let's see, how about a social media analytics tools. All right. So we're going to see if there's been anybody inside. So we have 130 results, personal results that came back for social media tools. And we'll see some of the people that I have in my circles are actually coming up in here. You'll see that, for example, like the Next Web, which is a blog that I read and a page that I follow, has a blog post that they wrote up about the best social media analytics tools for next year. See if there's any other results. We'll see that Janet here, who is in my social media marketing circle, had an article that she shared about it. So these are kind of some fun stuff. Here's Mark, who works up in Durham. He has an article here that he's shared as well. So you can see that your friends here can actually, or the people you have added to your circles can actually influence your search results. And this is the reason why you want to have people, in your, have you inside their circles. So that way you can start influencing their search results. So we'll see what happens when.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. We'll see what happens here when it turns off. So we'll see those results actually kind of change a little bit. It's just a little less social. Things aren't being pointed out here that your friends have read. You want to kind of know what your friends know too. So In addition, we think about this too. If you want to add your competitors into a circle, you can also find out what they're sharing and find out what they know. So that way, when you can have a better discussion with your customers too, if you know what your competitors know.
Yep. Very good. Very good. This gives us an idea, and the advice is get on there and start playing with it. Sign up for your Google Plus account if you haven't already. You can connect to Martin Brossman at Gmail and me, and find me and Martin Brossman in Google Plus and Greg, and then start working with it and do the searches, click the organic and the other, and see how it's biasing and pulling information, because this is really going to be the new validation for trusting products and services. Exactly,
and discovery as well.
The next topic I wanted to go into, I think this is a good start for Google Plus, is just explaining what are we doing here with this Hangout on air, and just introduce it to people, because they can have quick conferences with people, or they can have them publicly shared, Greg?
That's correct. I mean, so, the traditional webinar has always been, use, like a GoToMeeting, use GoToMeeting or Citrix or any of the other web-based platforms, or Skype, and you can do Skype as well. But as you can see, we just did just about everything that you can do on one of these platforms, and we did it within Google Plus, and we did it for free. So I was able to share a screen. If I wanted to, I could have shared a slide deck, if we were doing that. But if you're ever doing product demonstrations via webinars, you can, take and use Google Hangouts to either, to just do them privately with a customer, so you can do one-on-one or one-on-a-few, or you can do public, which is Google Hangouts on Air, which allows you to take and record your Hangout like we're doing right now, and actually publishing it directly to YouTube. Into your account there on YouTube for people to watch later. So you can actually use this content that you're creating to help inform customers and prospects, and show that you are knowledgeable within the new space of social media, and you have new ways and easier and quicker and faster ways in order to share content out there, so that way people can make decisions better, especially decisions to help them decide whether or not to hire you or buy your product.
And a way to start is find a sales buddy or person that's more technically minded to begin with this, and try it out. Have a meeting on Google. Now, Greg, the Google Air is a new addition that just rolled out. Just state what that's doing and how it's working.
Well, before, Google was beta testing with a number of broadcasters. There are some folks that have some pretty decent following. And they were testing out to see whether or not that people would be interested in using, taking their Hangouts that they were doing and actually publishing them out to YouTube. And it became very popular. There's a lot of requests for it. So actually, I think it was last month, Google rolled it out. And I know that when we discovered that they rolled it out, it was something that you and I had discussed and said, oh yeah, we got to start doing this. So we're very much looking forward to it.
That's excellent. So that's what this is occurring. This is our first test show on this, and we're going to be rolling out some more in the future. But it basically lets people see it live as well, isn't it?
That's correct. They can watch it live. As soon as we can, nail down the schedule, for example, we'll come in and actually start, doing these kind of Hangouts. It's on a regular basis, so that way we can come in and get audience participation. We'd love to have other sales folks come in and discuss how they're using social media and these tools in order to help them acquire more business.
Fantastic. I think that's we've introduced two good chunks with Google Plus. This kind of I call a social validation that occurs. It really is going to be part of the sales and marketing department of the future, and important for a salesperson to be up on. And this tool of hanging out that lets you to have a live chat with somebody on all browser-based, so it's no overhead on the PC. All you need is a good high-speed internet, and you're ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and right now there's Yeah, just a standard camera. I don't think they're supporting high def cameras. Well, if you have a high def camera, you should be okay. But if you, they're not supporting high def broadcast yet. But I'm sure as more bandwidth becomes available and the server capacity increases, we'll have better quality video and so on and so forth. So.
And I'm in Raleigh, and in the Brossman studio behind me that we often record other things. And Greg is in Fayetteville right now.
I'm in Fayetteville, down at the infamous Sophie warehouse, where T-shirts have been made. T-shirts and other fine activewear apparel have been made since 1946.
Fantastic. Now, the last thing I want to talk about came up with a client today, and it's the value of asking questions on LinkedIn. And then when you get an answer at the end of the 7 days when you ask the question and you get an answer, you have a chance of voting what is the best answer. And this is very important in building your network of quality people. And you and I try to always do that, Greg. And the key thing, he said, is he asked me a good question. After I vote them the best answer, what else do I do with it? And what I recommend doing is writing a note to them saying, I voted you the best answer. And if you really think they're a sharp person you want to be connected to, extend an invitation. Say, look, I voted you best answer. I liked what you said because of this, and I would be pleased to connect you on LinkedIn. Here is my LinkedIn email address if you want to send an invite to me, or send me your email and I'll connect to you. And he was excited about this because that gave him a way to build out his network of quality people.
Yeah, I think LinkedIn Answers has been a valuable resource to a lot of people on LinkedIn in two ways. One, for helping somebody build a reputation on their experience and their expertise that they have in certain areas that they've developed that in. In addition, for those who are looking for the answer from those kind of people, being a resource to your community is extremely important, and LinkedIn Answers is a fantastic way to utilize that. If somebody does provide that answer that you really like, chances are that person's an expert in their field, and maybe somebody worth considering connecting with, and potentially developing a stronger business relationship with. Chances are that they may be able to help your business grow or develop you professionally. Whatever the case may be, whatever the story may be, with what your situation is with asking questions on LinkedIn, it is something definitely worth connecting with people who provide you great answers.
The other piece of this is, if I told him after you connect, let's say you choose to connect with the person, then make a note in the note area. There's a little sticky note area you get even with the free account with every person in your first line connections. Make a note how you connected to them. Like, they answered my question on WordPress in a way that was invaluable to me, and it was very, very much appreciated. So that if something occurs down the road in 6 months and they ask for something, you'll go, oh my gosh, I want to help this person. This is someone who helped me. Here's how I met them. And it's a way to tie back to these people and how you either have helped them or they've helped you.
Right, and using that notes feature actually goes back to an interesting study that Google did, that they released before they rolled out Google+, and they realized that most people actually only have the capability of handling about 150 close relationships. And they have different circles of relationships. You have real close, you have moderate, and you have kind of like your acquaintances, and you have everything else beyond that. So using these tools and remembering that LinkedIn is a tool, Google is a tool, and all these other social networks are simply just tools that help us with our capacity to maintain connections. And if you take and use features like the notes inside there, it'll help you with remembering and organizing those memories inside of your head a little bit better.
Excellent. Well, this wraps up the show today, and Greg, it's exciting to be part of it. We'll be doing more of these. Anything you want to mention in closing?
No, I think let's get this one out there, and let's see if other people like it. If they do, I'd love it if people were to come in and participate with this podcast. As external participation is always the best when people come in and share their thoughts. We get some great discussion going, and that's exactly what we're looking for. So, in the future, take and add linking into sales to your circle. We'll send out an update as to when we'll do the next one of these. If you want, also take a visit at our website at linkingthesales.com. Follow us on Twitter. I'm sure we'll put updates. It's linking in the number 2 sales on Twitter. Join our group on LinkedIn. Just search for linking into sales and come in and connect with us. We're open to it. And if you got any questions, definitely put them out there, and we'll do the research and get you an answer.
Excellent. Thanks, Greg. Good to see you. I'll let you sign off on your end.
All right. Thanks, Martin, and let's look forward to doing another episode.